Rehab Guru gives you a number of reporting measures to track how your patient's doing remotely. To enable client reporting, toggle the client reporting switch on the Publish page. And now you have the option of choosing what you want to measure, when you want to measure it, and against what you're measuring. So traditionally, Rehab Guru has always measured pain and wellness after each exercise. However, now what we're able to do is measure a whole host of different parameters, such as rate of perceived exertion. We can also choose when we want to measure it, before or after, and that could be before or after every exercise, every session, every day, week, or before or after the program. So if we were to try and set up our traditional measures, which was pain after every exercise, and also wellness after every exercise. So this is now configured as the default options for Rehab Guru that go back a number of years. So by default, we're moving towards a process of not tracking anything by default. So this is a change from what we were performing previously. So if you do want to continue to track pain and wellness, then they do need to be configured using the client reporting section. To save you time in doing this, what you're able to do is set these once. And then what you can do is save them as a preset. So let me just set wellness. I'm going to click on new preset and save this as default. So once that has been saved, now every time I come to the publish page, all I've got to do is toggle client reporting and select default, and it will automatically configure all of the parameters that I want to track. So now we've got all of these options at our disposal, we can really go to town with what we want to measure or when we want to measure it. So I'm going to create a new preset to track what I'm particularly interested in, which in this case is breathlessness before every session, as well as breathlessness after every session. And I also want to know about the patient's rate of perceived exertion after every exercise. I could add as many of these as I want to. However, you just need to be mindful of how much the patient has to fill in whilst they're exercising. So less is more with this. Just try and consider what you want to measure and not anything else, so that we don't put our patients off the exercise program by having to complete so many different data points. I'm just going to select a test patient for now and assign this program to them. Very quickly, I'm going to grab the 10-digit ID and then browse to app.rehabguru.com/portal. I'm going to paste in that program ID, and here we have our program. So what we're seeing here is the new smart portal. So we've got a start session button. So this shows us that the program has actually got some outcome measures to track. So I'm going to click on Start Session. And before we start the session, remember we configured the program to ask for breathlessness before they started the session. They can also add any comments at this stage if they wish, but set their breathlessness. There are also information pop-ups on what breathlessness means, and that is the same for all of the other measures that we track. So I'll click Save, and now we've got submit feedback against every one of our exercises in this program. So as the patient clicks on Submit Feedback, they can enter their reps and sets if they are configured as parameters. And we also asked for rate of perceived exertion after every exercise. So clicking Save, submit the feedback on the next exercise, click Save, and then I will click Finish Session. And we also configured this program to track breathlessness after the session. So I'll click Save on that, and that is the end of the session that has been recorded. So as I go back to Rehab Guru, I'm going to go to my clients section and then find my test patient, Sue. We've got our client reporting program. I've got the option of viewing the program results from this page, or I can just go straight to the reporting section and I can see all of the results against all programs over the last day, last 7 days if I click on the 7D, or last 1 month by clicking on the 1M button. And here we've got that session that we just completed. So an RPE of 7 and a breathlessness of 6 and 100% session completion. Clicking into that session, I can see the breathlessness score before the session, the RPE after the plank and after the clam, and the after session breathlessness scores. Any notes that the patient left us would also appear in this bottom section. If I wanted to filter these results just for the last program, I can select it from the Filter Prescription drop-down list. Or to view their progress across all programs, because you can layer up the number of programs that a patient is using simultaneously, then I can just leave this Filter Prescription section blank, and that will do a results query for all of their programs that are currently assigned to them. Going back to the Publish page and the Client Reporting section, in this demonstration, I'm showing how many outcome measures you can actually track. So in this example, we've got quite a complex set of preset parameters. So just returning to the Publish page and the Client Reporting section, now is a good point just to reiterate that if the client reporting is toggled to be off, then there will not be any pain or wellness scores tracked by default. If you want to track those measures, then you need to toggle client reporting to be on and select them from the drop-down list. As always, if you're struggling with any of these features, our support team will be glad to help you, and you can do so by clicking on the question mark in the top of your screen and then clicking on the Ask button, completing this form, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.